All right, let's just talk about how Marvel has been lately. There's been a vocal uprising out there of how Marvel Phase 4 just isn't working. Marvel Phase 4 has been mostly quantity over quality in terms of their movies, TV shows, characters, CGI. And I think that at this point, we have to come into terms that Marvel just isn't what it used to be, as cohesive as it used to be. There's no clear direction. And I'm coming from this as a place as a Marvel fan who's grown up with Marvel since he was a kid. As someone who started watching Marvel after Sam Raimi's Spider Man 1 in 2002, as someone who then watched the X Men and the Hulk movies and Fantastic Four movie, and then kept going and seeing that this world has so much more to offer, playing as many video games, reading the actual comics as a kid. When Iron Man 1 came out in 2008, I was absolutely ecstatic. I never thought I'd get to see characters of this caliber come to life. I never thought I'd get to see the Avengers come to life. I never thought I'd get to see Spider Man with the Avengers at such a short period of my life, all leading to Infinity War, one of the greatest movies ever, in my opinion. A movie that truly captivated as if it was a comic book, a movie that actually made some comic book characters better in the movie than how he is in the comics, a movie that truly brought in 10 years of hard work, 10 years of risk, 10 years of fandom into one single experience. And then Avengers Endgame came out. And while Avengers Endgame was entertaining, clearly it did not have that soul that Avengers Infinity War had in it. And from there on, Marvel just seems to be a little all over the place. What I'm saying here has been repeated by so many others all across YouTube and across other forums that Marvel is dying with how they're pumping out their quality. The fact that Phase 4 is almost 50 hours worth of content. It is reaching to a point that if you unite all of Phases 1, 2, and 3, that was coherently made with a direction, Phase 4 is almost as long as that, if not longer, and has no direction. Yes, Marvel Phase 4 is trying to set up Kang the Conqueror, but it's doing in a way that is very messy, in a way unlike Thanos that was set up in the end of Avengers 1. And Avengers 1 was set up at the end of Iron Man 1 in the post-credit scenes. Kang the Conqueror has not been truly explored, and yet Marvel expects that we'll be completely on board at the end. Marvel's CGI problem has been abhorrent as of lately. As much as I love Spider-Man No Way Home, there is no way around it that Spider-Man No Way Home had rushed in CGI in a lot of clear scenes. There is a clear distinction night and day of how some scenes look great in the older movies and yet clear play-dohy plasticky in later scenes. Iron Man looks so much better in the first movies. Spider Man used to always have a genuine outfit in his older films. And while, yes, there was CGI used, it was deliberately used in scenes that it was hard to film a human body doing, such as web swinging. Not all the time when Spider Man's just standing there or Spider Man's just holding onto the wall. Scenes like that, it's not necessary to just pump out CGI. I was absolutely bewildered in the fact that Spider-Man in some scenes is just wearing the same Iron Spider suit. And it's not because he needs to wear the Iron Spider suit. It's because they just couldn't afford to make another outfit for someone to wear. And that's just the suit. That object or that place is just completely CGI. It's very clear that the majority of Marvel films now are on a green screen compared to older films such as Thor 1, where it was a genuine set piece with genuine set props and genuine set outfits. And this continues in even other films. Some of the is outright just ludicrous. Black Widow, the scene with the explosion, the fact that in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the eyeball looks so off. The fact that in Thor Love and Thunder, when Thor is communicating to Heimdall, I swear I thought this had to be a joke, but it isn't. At this point, either Marvel just doesn't care or Marvel's just pumping it out so quickly, they're not giving a chance for the VFX artists to care. Not to mention that many VFX artists and workers from Marvel have been coming out being vocal about the lack of unionization, the sheer amount of crunch time. I don't blame these VFX artists for what they're pumping out. I don't. I know as a person who works on art, as someone who wants to get into this field, the sheer amount of work and time this takes, it's not their fault. As a matter of fact, it's likely the fact that Marvel is crunching in so much at so little time. I liked Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Really, I enjoyed the film. But I will not stand here and just ignore the fact that many of my friends literally did not understand why Wanda was during that motivation. You know that you've done wrong when people have to do homework and watch WandaVision to understand why the hell Wanda is the way she is. And she is an important central character in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's not just an Easter egg that if you watch WandaVision, you understand the joke. It's an integral plot point. This is the issue that every other movie universe has always had, that Marvel's always had a lead on. DCEU has had a massive issue on this. The MonsterVerse has had a massive issue on this. Any other attempts to make a cohesive movie universe has always had the issue of setting up everything all at once without trying to truly focus at the single hand character or plot at mind. Nowadays, Marvel feels like it's a part of that issue too, but the only lead up it has is that it had great phases beforehand, and so people are already on board. But if you really look at it, Marvel's just juggling multiple properties all at once, and there's no clear direction where it's leading at. And it really truly feels that Marvel is just trying to find a way to get more money. They know audiences will just eat this up. But at the end of the day, these characters aren't the ones that have been set up. Ironheart is going to come in. Ironheart doesn't seem that she's going to really have the impact of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Iron Man is more than just being an Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. truly played that character till the end. Chris Evans truly played Captain America until the end. Yes, we still have Chris Hemsworth as Thor, but clearly people have been rather divisive on Thor Love and Thunder. Some people preferred Thor being taken seriously. And while, yes, Thor can be a goofball, and that has shown that in Thor Ragnarok, people actually like the direction of Thor being a little more comedic and lighthearted compared to him being completely Shakespearean. The way Thor Love and Thunder treated him is that he's completely an idiot compared to in some moments. While yes, he can be funny, and yes, he can have great dialogue with the humor in hand, he's still the god of thunder. He's still a hero at the end of the day. He's just trying to help people, someone who is hurt, someone who is lost, something the Russo brothers truly explored very well, something that ultimately he's just going to keep going as another Marvel joke fest. Marvel has decided to go entirely on the joke fest. They can't seem to take a break and try to reel in true emotion, because every time there is true emotion, they have to kick in a safe joke because they need to know that the kids need to laugh here. Some would argue that phase one wasn't that strong, that phase two wasn't even that strong to begin with. Then Marvel didn't pick up steam until phase three. I'm not going to sit here and just say that phase one, people were all on board. At the end of the day, people have been praising Iron Man 1, but people are critical of Incredible Hulk, of Iron Man 2, of Captain America the First Avenger, and of Thor. And it wasn't until Avengers 1 that people were seemingly all praising that movie. But at the end of the day, what I appreciate about Marvel phases 1, 2, and 3, and particularly phase 1, is how it felt like it was trying to be a movie first, trying to captivate any audience, trying to find a tone for itself. And if it didn't work, I still commend it for trying to take a risk and trying to find itself as a movie first rather than the cheap business tactic, just safe for anyone to watch. I don't feel that with new movies like Thor Love and Thunder and Black Widow. I don't feel that Marvel is truly trying to push out something genuine. I don't feel that Marvel is trying to explore a character. I feel like they're just trying to lead to a final story. In this case, Kang the Conqueror, Secret Wars, or the Young Avengers, or the New Avengers, or the Thunderbolts. And while those concepts should be hyped, those concepts should be exciting, I'm not excited. And many are not excited. And the reason for that is because we're not invested in such characters. We're not invested in the way that Marvel is going about. Many just don't even know Kang even exists. At the reality, the majority of people that I see just talk about how the only character they're interested and invested in is just Spider-Man. And as No Way Home implies, Spider-Man's not going to truly be an MCU character anymore. He's clearly going more on the individualistic route in the college trilogy. He's going to be a lot more grounded. And I truly think this is a fantastic route to take Spider-Man. But that said, where does everyone else in the Marvel world lie? At the time I'm making this, Comic Con is just around the corner, and Marvel is confirmed to have a panel. And in that panel, Marvel will most likely show a trailer of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, maybe hint more on Ant Man 3, Quantum Mania, and probably show more of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, maybe even tease Fantastic Four. I'm sure Marvel has plans for this Comic Con. Marvel hasn't had one in years. I'm going to watch it because I've always supported Marvel and I do want to see the direction it goes. But I'm also unimpressed with what they could put out. Rumors have it that in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Doctor Doom will finally make his appearance. I should be ecstatic. I should be excited that a character I've wanted since forever to be represented well. In my opinion, Doctor Doom has never been done well, other than Avengers' Mightiest Heroes. Doctor Doom is far more complex than just a generic Marvel villain. To me, he is the Marvel villain. He is my favorite Marvel villain. And yet, the fact of hearing a rumor that he may finally make a live action appearance in Black Panther Wakanda Forever actually gets me rather unexcited, because shouldn't this movie be about Black Panther? Shouldn't this movie be about Wakanda? But this movie is already said to have another take on Namor. Already, I feel this just isn't going to work. I feel that Black Panther Wakanda Forever shouldn't work because Chadwick Boseman isn't with us anymore. And I feel that respectfully, Black Panther Wakanda Forever should be a different take. But instead, I feel like they're just trying to make up for it, putting in other characters that we know we've been dying to see, such as Namor and Doctor Doom, and rather forget the fact that Chadwick has passed from us. It's like Disney is just trying to defile any way to make money. I do want to see Marvel continue in some way, shape, or form. I want to see the X Men done again. I want to see the Fantastic Four done again. I would like to see a Blade movie. I would like to see more Spider Man movies. Of course, I would. Spider Man is my favorite character of all time. I would like to see some merging. I would like to see Tom Hardy's Venom join in sometime. I would like to see new takes on new characters. Maybe down the road, years and years on ahead, maybe I would like to see another take on Iron Man. But as of right now, I just don't feel that Marvel's truly taking a minute to understand what they are doing. I feel Marvel is just trying to pump out anything to just get their audiences. And unfortunately, audiences will eat this up. The only reason they're still doing it is because it is working, even though it shouldn't work. People will buy tickets to watch the latest Marvel movie, not even thinking three times to say, maybe this isn't really going to be as good as the older movies. Or even if this does feel good, how does this apply to the overall narrative? People will just eat up Marvel right nowadays. And again, this is coming from a Marvel fan, someone who loves Marvel, someone who's grown up with these characters. But when I see them in the screen, I can clearly just see Disney pumping out the money, trying to tell them to act a certain way. I don't see the characters that Stan Lee brought to us. I don't see the passion there. If I can say what Marvel should do, I think Marvel needs to take a minute and maybe take a break. I think that Marvel should take time, maybe go back to just one or two movies a year instead of pumping out so much so little. Establish clear direction, allow directors to truly take in what they can. Marvel feels like popcorn movies left and right. It doesn't feel like true cinema, as Martin Scorsese has said. As much as we could argue day and night over what he said or what others are saying, I think the reality is Marvel really hasn't pumped out something great lately. It hasn't pumped out something that's worthwhile. You could say Spider Man No Way Home, but at the end of the day, that's a merging product with Sony. And that's a character that will almost always guarantee some sort of success, especially the impact that character has. But in terms of the overall Marvel story and the overall what Marvel has to offer, Marvel has been quite low lately, and I'm not sure where the direction it's going. Maybe when Comic Con comes around soon, Marvel does put something that is fantastic, something that is great, and maybe everyone will be on board with that. Maybe they do change things around. But as of lately, as of this point, Marvel Phase 4 really looks gloomy and uninspiring.